All right, what's up, everybody? This is Salt City Counseling. My name is Scott Carter, and I am a clinical mental health counselor. I'm kind of laughing a little bit because I was just finishing up writing up this terrible hit piece on codependent relationships on Quora. If you're not on Quora, Quora, that website, I do a lot of writing over there on various things like mental health, personal improvement, borderline personality disorder. I was just finishing writing this fairly scathing hit piece on codependent relationships. The question itself being, can a codependent relationship be fixed? Which is like one of the most codependent questions I've ever read. um, um, and I decided to do a video on it. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the nature of codependent relationships. I'm going to talk about what this actually means. I'm kind of in the mode these days of doing a lot more relationship videos. There's kind of a longer explanation as to why now, why I'm doing this. A big part of it is I just feel like it's needed. I look at other people's relationships, and I just see like this rampant codependency with people. People's relationships are built on fear. They're built on competition. That's not love to me. I don't understand why. I mean, to me, it's perplexing why people choose into those relationships in the first place. But it's astronomically more perplexing to me why people feel the need to try and coerce and compel me into one like it and deny. Like people will flat out tell me to my face like my relationship's not like that. And it's like, okay, I'm watching it. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the nature of codependency and codependent relationships. And honestly, this is a little bit of a dark rabbit hole. Be warned. Because here's the thing. Codependency, codependent types, codependent relationships, they try to pass themselves off as love or loving. Like, this is love. And I'm going to talk about why no, it's not. Because I had previously answered a question specifically about how codependent relationships are not loving relationships. I'm making the argument that no, absolutely not. Under no certain terms are codependent relationships loving ones. And for the love, as miserable as human beings are these days, could we please, for the love, please stop accepting these dumpster fires as love. And stop passing them off as love, and stop telling our children that this is love. It's not. It's really, really not. So I'm going to kind of get into this. Codependent relationships, why codependent relationships aren't in love, the nature of codependent relationships, and so forth. This is a little bit of a rabbit hole. Let me get some housekeeping out of the way first. Help me grow my channel, please. Love to get to 1,000, and love to get there soon. So, like, share, subscribe, all of the above. You know what to do. Please, do that. Help me grow my channel. I'd much appreciate it. If you like this content, you want to keep it going, hit the tip jar. All those links are in the description below. If you want to invest in crypto, if you're interested in investing in crypto, I have a link down below. Sign up, invest $100, you'll get 10 free bucks from using that link in cryptocurrency. I invest in crypto. That's just my choice. This is not financial advice. Now that the disclaimer is out of the way and all that other stuff is out of the way, let's get into this. What is codependency? What is a codependent relationship? What does this look like? Well, it's a little bit complex, and I'm going to describe it as I've seen it. I'm not going to get into the clinical jargon of what codependency means. It's not in the DSM. It probably should be. I actually think it really, really should be. Well, what's interesting is that codependent types, they're usually in these codependent relationships, right? Where they're enabling somebody. And by enabling somebody, they're essentially keeping them sick. They're essentially keeping them in this really negative and destructive pattern in that person's life, right? And frankly, the dark rabbit hole is this, is that the codependent is usually unaware. I get that these folks really believe they're well-meaning. And I've known codependent types that are some of the nicest people you would ever met. But the dark truth is that I really believe subconsciously they are kind of using this person as a means to make themselves look like the knight in shining armor, the hero. Keeping this person safe or helping them makes me of worth and makes me of value. Unfortunately, the people who are codependent in nature, they generally have a significant and severe lack of self-worth or self-value. And they base their self-worth and self-value based on what they do for other people. What they don't understand, really, I really believe that they have these blind spots. I really do. But what they don't understand is that by trying to help somebody else, they're actually often, usually, most of the time, keeping that other person sick. We see this, for example, with borderline personality disorder. People who have borderline, for example, are almost in relationships of a codependent nature, meaning that their partners are usually enabling them, are usually protecting them from consequences, are usually keeping them sick, are usually exacerbating these negative and destructive cycles and patterns in their life and protecting them from the consequences that could actually help them grow, help motivate them to change. And so the codependent tends to make the issue worse, right? Let's say that the person has a major drug issue, maybe alcoholism, maybe they're borderline. And what unfortunately happens is the codependent keeps that person sick. And the payoff for the codependent is I'm the hero. I'm the knight in shining armor. I'm doing good in this world. And they can even get angry and really upset and this is not clinical jargon, but a little butthurt over the fact that people are kind of speaking up and saying, hey, you're keeping them sick. How dare you? I'm the hero in this story. And the truth is, this isn't loving. Keeping someone sick is not loving at all. And codependents the codependent types will often say, well, I do this because I love them. And I'm sorry, codependency isn't love. And it's unfortunate that these folks probably don't actually know love. They've never felt it. They've never experienced it. They've never been in love. They've never really, really, truly had that in their lives. And so what they think they're labeling as love is not love. It's really not. And it's unfortunate that a lot of these codependent types have gotten it programmed or conditioned into them that the only value that they have in life is what they do for other people. And what ultimately every person needs to see themselves as deserving and worthy of love, right? And honestly, that even means people with borderline. It does. They deserve love. And frankly, that love needs to be altruistic, just meaning that don't expect anything back. You can do what's loving. Frankly, I'm gonna divert for half a second. When it comes to borderline, if you default to altruistic love with them, they'll hit your guts. They will. They want enablers. They seek them. People with borderline, what they need is accountability, and what they find are enablers, right? And codependents. And so I believe that we should offer love to those who have borderline. They won't absorb it. They won't remember it, right? And they'll only point out the negative, and you never do anything that's loving, and it's like, okay, sweetheart. People throw love at you all the time. You just don't absorb it. You slap it away, and then you blame your loved ones and call them abusive. All right, so back on track. Fact of the matter is, with codependency, what I want to kind of close up with is this. This isn't love. That's codependency, codependent relationships. I do this for them. I hear, we hear codependents say this. I do this stuff for that person because I love them. You keep them sick because you love them? False. Because that's not a loving thing to do. It's not. It's frankly not. And so what the codependent needs, they need to break out of that shame. It's like love and shame are connected. Love and shame are like bonded together. Whereas they only see themselves as worthy if they're doing things for other people, or rescuing, or fixing, or saving these flawed or broken people. And the unfortunate thing too is with codependent types, let's say that somebody that they are codependent with actually gets better. actually fixes themselves, breaks free of their own negative cycles, then suddenly the codependent isn't needed anymore. Needed, right? Then they kind of lose their identity, and because their identity is orbiting around this idea that this person is broken and flawed. They need someone to take care of them. They need someone to do things for them. Otherwise, they'll just crash and burn. When the fact of the matter is, the codependent is keeping them sick. So, for those that are codependent in nature, for those that are struggling with codependency and recognize this pattern, what you need is love. That's what you need. Codependents are bad receivers. They're very bad receivers when it comes to love, but they need to be loved too. They're just as deserving and valuable and worthy of it as anybody else, right? And they need to work on being able to absorb and receive that love as well. But that's what they need. That's honestly what they need. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for enduring my tirade about codependency. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.